Greetings. As some of you may have seen in the YouTube post, something happened on Friday. Every year, Microsoft sends us a reminder letting us know, hey, you need to renew your subscription or to continue to use our software. And I am using Microsoft Word for this series. However, what happened was, and they probably, as you're paying for the software, downloading the new software, they do tell you, hey, just let you know, this is no longer standalone. You're going to have to purchase the standalone, which is this one here. When you double click on that, it's not a standalone software. What this does, you double click on this, it would take you to their website. Now I have to be very careful because this does have my personal information on there. You're actually accessing the website. It's no longer standalone. So if I remember, I'm going to chop off my screen because part of the screen does have my IRL name on there. So I kind of panicked because I didn't realize what was going on, because I thought, wait a minute, this is standalone. How come I can't access my documents? Well, you actually have to go from the standalone application. It will take you to the website. From the website, you have to go pull up your file. So I kind of panicked. But thank goodness I got my software. I got my documents. So I'm going to be really, really careful as I'm going through this. And so yeah, this is to let you know, if you do have Microsoft Office, you're going to run into this issue where you have to download the software, and then from the software, it takes you to the web browser, so it's no longer standalone. It's an actual web browser, and then there's a part of the screen where it does have your IRL name, so you have to be really careful if you do use, if you do record yourself using this. So yeah, it's just surprise. So let me go to here, and I'll make sure to edit out the section that has my IRL name on there, and I have to be really careful when I move the arrow keys to not show anything that has my IRL name on there. But anyway, we just have a few more chapters left to go, and I'll make sure to also do an epilogue, and then maybe, depending on how I feel, go over my thoughts. This whole process has been over a year in the making, because middle last year, late last year, I thought about, you know what, let me start a second channel. And I'm almost there. I'm gonna see the end. And then after this series next year, I'm gonna go back to my book review series, because there was one book I started on my other channel and I never finished it, so I gotta finish that one. So anyway, chapter 61, rest of 2018. First half of April was busy for Erica and Michael, in addition to paying their income tax for the previous year. Erica also went to her alma maters to decide who would get the next set of scholarships. And the studio gave her a check for royalties from her first film as well as her latest film. With Michael's blessing, she donated a significant amount to both of her alma maters as well as her father's university as well. So I know, it's too much. Anyway, hopefully this will be enough to owe less income tax for the following year. Next, Erica and Michael prepared to take their vacation to Japan. For both of them, this would be their first trip to the northernmost island of Hokkaido. The night before, they boarded Kamali, their dog, with Richard, his cousin. The next morning, they got up early, headed to San Francisco International Airport. After they checked in at the kiosk, they went deeper into the terminal to have a continental breakfast. When it was time to board their plane, they went to the international terminal to their airline counter area. After they got through the seats, they put on their carry-on bags in the overhead bin. Then they sat down, fastened their seatbelts, and listened to the flight attendant talk about their policy and procedures. During the flight, Erica spent part of the flight looking at the screen that shows their flight pattern, exactly where they are at the moment. She also looked outside the window to see them take off. A few hours later, they had lunch. She had some fried noodles, salad, and a bread roll with butter. When the flight attendant asked what she would like to drink, she also had some tea as well. They also distributed some savory snacks. Since this was an almost 12-hour flight, they slept in the middle of the flight and had breakfast the following day, along with a mid-morning snack and some lunch. They arrived in Tokyo in mid-afternoon. After they got off their flight, they went to the customs to register as temporary immigrant. They had dinner at the airport. Erica had some cold soup and noodles with some grated daikon radish, seaweed, dried nori strips, and some shaved dried bonito flakes and cold broth. For a drink, she had some green tea. Then they went to the domestic terminal to board a connecting flight. After a 2-hour flight, they arrived in Hokkaido. By then, it was already 8 p.m. So after they went to baggage claim, they took a taxi to their hotel. Actually, the Airbnb is... Because I kept going back and forth, like, which one they're going to. So the Airbnb, Erica had Michael talk with the driver to specify which Airbnb they'll be staying in. So when they got there, they checked in, dropped off their luggage. Later that evening, they took turns taking a long hot bath. Michael mentioned that Erica looks way better than the previous year. She tilted her head. Then she realized he was telling the truth. The past several years, she was always sick to her stomach. Even with the anti-motion sickness medicine, the heating pad, the TENS machine. This year, she didn't even need to take any of it. Perhaps she had hernia the entire time. When he asked her why first surgeon and the focused MRI imaging with ultrasound missed it, she surmised, well, they were looking inside her pelvic area rather than outside the belly button. He shrugged his shoulders, realized that they may never know. It could also have been that she utilized Chachi's personal trainer services to fit into her Northern California Renaissance Fair costume. Granted, after surgery, she utilized Chachi's services again. Either way, her second surgery did change the course of her health. Both were in awe. The next day, they started their 2-week vacation, sightseeing throughout Hokkaido. In many ways, this northernmost island had a lot of the same vibes as the main island. However, there were some differences. While some of the builds were done Japanese style, there were other builds that looked more European. Michael made certain that they visited some of the indigenous exhibits and hands-on activities. During this entire time, they made sure to try out the local cuisine, and Michael checked out the local beer scene as well. For Erica, she immediately fell in love with the miso ramen. She made a mental note to get the recipe somewhere and try it at home. It beat any instant cup ramen she had in college, hands down. She took a few photos so she can look back at it to try to figure out what made the soup taste so good. She also tried out their renowned shio salt ramen as well. For dinner, she went to the local sushi place. Erica was in awe at how delicious fresh fish is compared to the previous frozen ones back in California. Granted, they do have some fresh, well-caught ones from Alex and Chachi. In one of the port cities that they visited, they made certain to try some squid that were famous in that region as well. And Erica made certain to order her favorite sea urchin every chance she got. Michael made sure that they visit the coastline. Erica was in awe at the natural rock formations as well as a very distinct shade of blue in the clear waters. And the same as the other places that they visited, they stayed at local Airbnbs to save on cost. Also, they had some home-cooked meals for breakfast and lunch, in part to try out the local produce as well. Since Hokkaido is renowned for the milk production, Erica and Michael made certain to drink whole milk, other dairy products, while they were there. While Michael poured some of the whole milk into his coffee, Erica did the same for their tea. Moreover, Erica especially loved their vanilla soft-serve ice cream. They also made sure to try some bread made from Hokkaido wheat. And Erica and Michael enjoyed the window shopping. They saw an eclectic mix of Japanese and European-style buildings. In addition, they saw several Western-style churches as well. Unlike other parts of Japan that's densely built, there were many parts of Hokkaido that had open fields and beaches. Erica was in awe. For transportation, Erica and Michael used public transportation whenever they could. Otherwise, they hailed a taxi. Michael translated between Erica and the driver. There was even a town where you can take a cable car, and another town where you can choose between a chairlift and a monorail. Also, parts of the island reminded Erica and Michael of Carmel by the Sea in California. There were sunny beaches. They saw hydrangeas. Carmel Plaza is an outdoor shopping center with various plants, including hydrangea. And Devondorf Park has a koi pond with Japanese maple and loquat trees. A side note, when Erica pointed this out to Michael, he did mention that Oahu, in Hawaii, has a smaller version of Kyoto's Byodo-in temple. Erica was not. At this time, Michael makes certain to show Erica that temple the next day they visit Oahu. Before the end of the trip, they made certain to stop by a dairy farm as well as flower fields. Before they left, Erica made certain to buy one refrigerator magnet to add to her collection, and they made certain to call Richard daily to check up on how Kamali is doing. All in all, it was a wonderful and relaxing vacation. They spent the rest of the trip in Hawaii. Since the previous visit was all about Michael, this time Michael let Erica choose where she wanted to go. She started with a trip to the Hashimoto family grave. After she took out her prayer beads, they prayed to all four of Michael's grandparents. When she put the prescription glasses on, she looks closely at the birth-death dates. All of a sudden, she gasped and covered her mouth. She did not realize before that they had all passed during the 12 months she was formerly mourning the loss of her maternal grandmother. She immediately looked at Michael and apologized when he waved his hand away, stating his parents requested that he not tell her. She shook her head. She needs to make certain that she's the opposite of her father. He was oblivious to both of her maternal grandparents passing. After he gave it some thought, he'll say that he'll let his parents know as soon as they return to California. She also added to please consider letting her help his family. She needs to pay forward for all the help they gave her during the past several years. He carefully said that he would relay the message. At this time, she wondered if this was part of the reason they abruptly stopped having the New Year's Day event at their gated community. They, too, lost both sets of their parents. She made certain to give them an extra prayer of healing during their difficult time. With the passing of Michael's paternal grandparents, it also meant that the next generation took over the family's pineapple farm. Michael's father was a middle child, so it was not his responsibility. However, Richard's father was the firstborn son. He must take over the family farm. Fortunately, both of his elder sisters are working closely with their father to keep the farm running smoothly. When they stopped by this farm in Hawaii, Erica made certain to order fresh pineapple fruit salad and the pina colada. At this time, she left a bigger gratuity tip than usual. Also, when they visited Kyoto, they went to Byodo-in Temple. Oahu has a beautiful smaller scale replica, so Michael made certain they visit the valley of the temple's Memorial Park during their week-long visit. All in all, this was a much-needed vacation. Erica and Michael were ready to return to work. On Friday, May 11th, they flew from Hawaii back to San Francisco International Airport. After Michael picked up Kamali from his cousin's home, they started unpacking. There was one hiccup. Erica had a rough time getting over jet lag. While she was recovering, she ended up working from home during the first 2 weeks after they returned from vacation. Michael drove her to Sunday services. Until further notice, Erica and Michael got the green light from the Adaptive Fitness Center, clinic, and studio to work a modified schedule from 9 to 6. When she apologized to Michael and the staff for the inconvenience, they told her don't worry about it. Friday, May 18th, they went to Ashby's University to attend their commencement. She took a couple weeks off to go to Los Angeles, took a trip to Disneyland, Little Tokyo, wherever else she wanted to visit. When she returned to the clinic, she took a day off to go to Sacramento to take the state board exam to get a marriage, family, child counselor license. When she got a license, she got promoted from intern to junior counselor. At that time, Trey Murphy Sr. visited the clinic to train her on how to offer online therapy services. Next year, she will be part of the South Bay Satellite Clinic while working remotely from San Francisco. On Friday, May 25th, they went to Erin Murphy Shaw, Rio Amaya, and Trey Murphy Jr.'s graduation at their university. It's a different university, even though they're both in San Francisco. Starting the following week, they got promoted from intern to junior staff at the studio. Also, Vanessa Moore made a temporary move from her parents' home in the South Bay to living in one of the upstairs apartments of the San Francisco clinic. During the weekday, she started an internship at the clinic to prepare her to become the next junior community health educator. The senior nurse practitioner started by training her to work at the front desk. During the weekends, a member of the studio staff trained her on how to drive a car and added additional lessons for the defensive driving certificate. On Monday, May 28th, Erica, Michael, and their friends had their annual barbecue at their gated community. Richard and his family were still in Los Angeles, so he temporarily handed over the family recipe on how to make linguiça to Michael, on the condition that they not share it nor use the recipe without his green light first. When Michael relayed the message to Erica, she agreed. After Michael made the linguiça, Erica put the recipe in a paper bag, put it into her cookbook binder marked "Nothing to see here." When Michael saw that, he giggled. Alex made signature grilled oysters. Devin made one of her best-selling cakes from her bakery. Erica made Hawaiian macaroni and cheese. Michael focused on making the linguiça. And both of Michael's sisters brought their signature dishes as well. After they said itadakimasu, they sat at their favorite picnic table, began eating. They used this time to catch up and engage in small talk. The next day, Erica was ready to return to work. However, she still had a rough time getting up in the morning, so they continued to work a modified schedule of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. On June 1st, Ashley joined the clinic staff as an intern until she got her license. She temporarily moved back to her parents' house while the permanent home was under construction. That morning, Erica and studio staff had a weekly meeting. Her second film made almost $50 million at the box office. Starting Memorial Day weekend, they switched from showing her film to a streaming service. If everything goes well, they'll do the same thing with Aaron's first feature film. They spent the rest of the summer filming Aaron's first film. Chachi took time off from her job as a co-owner of the restaurant and personal trainer at the Adaptive Fitness Center to be the studio's temporary associate producer. She worked closely with Aaron on her film. Around this time, Jonathan Kaneshiro Mori Jr., his wife, and their children moved from Los Angeles to San Francisco. At that time, Jonathan Jr. joined the studio staff as a junior executive producer. He also helped Chachi and Aaron with Aaron's first film as well. Erica's television show about local businesses was a continued success with another over 10 episodes. She worked closely with Jonathan Sr. to schedule the next 10 small businesses. After they got the schedule together, they visited each business and went over what the owners want in their episode. Since the studio took over her personal podcast, with her riding along with Maria's parents on their small business transporting local seniors to their doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, etc. Trey Murphy Sr. worked with her in editing her podcast, getting it uploaded onto her YouTube channel. There was also a demand for more podcasts from the clinic, so Erica joined the studio staff to continue the podcast series about endometriosis. When they returned to the clinic, Trey Murphy Sr. helped the staff edit. When they returned from the clinic, Trey Murphy Sr. helped the staff edit each episode, uploading to the clinic's YouTube channel. During the weekends in the month of June, Erica and Michael joined Alex and Chachi in attending local pride events. One by one, Chachi introduced Erica to the people she helped who were diagnosed with endometriosis. This gave Erica a deeper insight on how this disease affects the queer community. Chachi also introduced Erica to a person who has stage 1. After they completely recovered from surgery, they went ahead with their trans surgery. Erica was in awe. After Kim and Peter helped Chachi recover from her surgery, she paid it forward by helping the queer community who has the same condition. When Erica asked them individually whether she could refer to them as her endo sisters, they accepted. Erica was thrilled. At this time, Chachi approached Erica about starting a podcast about her endo sisters. When Erica looked at Michael, he nodded. After they set up their own Zoom website, they remotely logged on. Erica recorded the podcast on her computer. Not surprisingly, they quickly got comments from other queer people who have this condition asked to be invited to their podcast. So during each of these podcasts, Erica made certain to clarify that she is an ally. That way there won't be any confusion. By this time, interest in the podcast about queer people who are bi died down, so they decided to pull the plug and end that podcast. During this month, Erica and Michael resumed their weekly date nights after eating dinner at a local restaurant. They used a streaming service to watch their favorite films. Video rental stores all but disappeared by this time. They started with The Crying Game. This movie changed the course of their lives forever. Before, Michael tried dating gay men and straight women, but as soon as they realized that he's bi, they ghosted him. Erica realized that he's by while they were watching this film with their friends Devin and Yennefer. Rather than let him go, she grabbed his hand and would not let him run away. She also gave his homophobic parents an ultimatum. She will agree to marry their son, if and only if they confront their fear. Otherwise, she would let him go. Since they needed to marry off their son, they acquiesced. Granted, Erica was against forcing people to talk as though they're not homophobic. And since her entire made Japan Japanese family are xenophobic and homophobic, she was also against being in your face about forcing people to stop being homophobic. As a result, Michael's parents appreciated Erica that much more. She wasn't somebody who was in your face, nor was she somebody to tell other people what to do either. For this film, they had their friends Alex, Chachi, Devin, and Yennefer join them. It was nostalgic because Devin and Yennefer were with Erica and Michael when she realized that on her own that he is actually bi, or how Erica prefers to say gay plus extra. After the credits rolled, Devin looked at Erica, told her that they watched both of her films. They are more familiar with the original senior capstone. However, they can tell that she has done a lot more soul searching for the second one. Moreover, although they knew she was going through a lot, they didn't realize how much until they saw the latter. At this time, Devin started tearing up. When she regained her composure, she asked Erica to consider letting them help her. Life is going to be even more rough over the next several years. However, it'll be easier by leaning on very good friends. When Erica looked at Michael, he nodded. After Erica wiped one of her tears away, she took Devin's hands in hers and accepted. As a result, Erica and Michael spent some subsequent date nights eating dinner at the restaurant, watching other films with their friends. For example, they watched the original British version of Death at the Funeral and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. The following weekend, Michael introduced Erica to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Granted, this is more of a Halloween type of film, but however, since Erica loved Priscilla, he knew that she'll appreciate and love Rocky. Not surprisingly, she loved it. They made certain to watch these films every year. At this time, Erica made a mental note to spend more time in their community garden. Also, she made some suggestions of other types of plants to add. Much to her relief, Devin was fully on board, did the research on what type of soil and when to plant them. One of them was milkweed. Milkweed provides food for monarch butterflies in the form of its leaves. The milkweed, not the butterflies. It also attracts other hummingbirds and other butterflies into their garden. It's low maintenance. The flowers come in 3 colors and supports biodiversity. To allow them, Devin got the seeds of the California variant and planted them. Hopefully they will sprout the following spring. Fun fact, this variety was cooked and eaten as candy by one of the indigenous California tribes. Around this time, Erica also reconnected with her father to help him finish the rest of his university studies. There was one more development there. The place where he was a park ranger intern had a person retire. Unfortunately, none of their junior park rangers are anywhere near close to becoming a senior park ranger at that time. During her father's internship, supervisors and colleagues quickly realized that her father has empathy toward park visitors who have mental health issues. It made sense. Growing up in post-war Japan was traumatic for her father, who was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Rather than judge these visitors, her father has an extraordinary amount of patience and knows exactly how to talk with them rather than at them. As a result, they decided to promote him from intern to senior park ranger as soon as he graduates. Erica was in awe. At this time, she beefed up her efforts to help him graduate. Much to her surprise, he already completed his senior capstone project in May. Not surprisingly, the project was about how to approach visitors who are experiencing a mental health situation. So the only classes he needed to take that summer and fall were electives. At this time, she paid his summer classes and private tutors. The summer went by quickly. By Labor Day weekend, they finished filming Aaron's first feature-length film. They spent the next couple of months editing the film, and they helped Aaron prepare for a trip to Los Angeles that November to their annual independent film event. The following February, her film will be shown in movie theaters throughout the United States. This time, Erica paid for her father's final semester at his university. Also, at this time, Chachi started filming her next television show, teaching her viewers about perimenopause and how to adjust their cooking habits. The studio also had a healthcare professional who specializes in perimenopause, makes certain that Chachi only states facts, not opinions, and help them add a disclaimer to each episode, letting viewers know that they must see and follow the advice of their healthcare professional. They are not, repeat, not to use Chachi's new cooking show as a substitute for seeing their healthcare professional. At the Labor Day weekend, they had a picnic at the gated community. Peter's family was also in attendance. His grandnephew Aiden, by then, is 8 years old. His younger sister turned 5. It was 9 years ago when Peter passed away. Erica was in awe at how quickly time passes. By then, both the children were cleared by their pediatrician to start eating raw fish. In Japan, this is not an issue because they have one of the world's strictest food safety guidelines. However, their parents made certain to only eat raw fish at restaurants they can fully trust. In addition, Chachi's restaurant is one of the very best in San Francisco, so they accept the fish that Alex and Chachi caught and cleaned. By then, Erica was feeling much better. As a result, Erica and Michael resumed joining Alex and Chachi in the weekly fishing trips on the weekends. However, she still had a rough time getting up in the morning, so she continued working a modified schedule of 9 to 6. Also, both of Michael's older sisters' husbands made an announcement. After working as intern at Peter's father's international company, they're now working to help small businesses in Japan connect with small businesses in the United States. It made sense. Both of them have an advanced degree in international business from Hawaii. Erica was an Peter always felt badly that he can't work at his father's company. Granted, he had advanced degrees in physical therapy and was the first, air quotes, doctor in the family. Now Erica marrying Michael and Michael bringing both of his elder sisters back to California came full circle. Both of his brothers-in-law are now helping Peter's father. Since public schools resumed, Erica worked with Jamie, Kim, and Sophia to go to local schools to teach students about their sexual health. By this time, Vanessa returned to the South Bay to resume her university studies. Since Erica had difficulty waking up during daylight savings time, they modified when she would go to the schools by scheduling it between 9 a.m. to either 3 or 4 p.m. Also during that month, Erica got blood work done at the clinic. Not surprisingly, the results were unchanged. She also made appointments for dentists and eye doctors. At this time, Michael advised her to change their insurance. Since she has a pre-existing condition, insurance companies will use that as an excuse to not pay for her medical care. As a result, during open enrollment, she changed both of their insurances to the lowest cost option. That year, October 17th was on a Wednesday, so they celebrated Michael's birthday in the middle of the week. She made sure to make his favorite foods. Since his family was from Hawaii, she made some Hawaii-style Portuguese bean soup, poke, which is a raw fish salad, and Portuguese sweetbread. And for dessert, she made some malasadas, a dessert similar to donuts. While Michael has a Kona coffee, Erica had some herbal tea. In addition, during open enrollment, Erica went to the office manager of the studio to change her and Michael's medical insurance to the lowest payment plan. Much to her relief, when the daylight savings ended on November 4th, Erica was able to get back to the regular 8 to 5 schedule. So they resumed going to local schools starting around 8 a.m. When Erica talked with Alex and Chachi about this, they said they don't have any problems with daylight savings. However, when Alex said that Erica's midlife crisis is daylight savings, Chachi laughed so hard that she snorted. Later that day, when Erica told Michael what had happened, he giggled. In mid-November, Chachi, Lucas, and Aaron went to the independent film event in Los Angeles. The rest of the studio stayed behind to work on their television shows. That year, Thanksgiving was on November 22nd. The event at the Murphy Hotel in San Francisco was busy. After the ladies cooked the low sodium feast, the men transported the food from the kitchen to the banquet hall. At this time, Erica realized something interesting about this family. Although some of the members of the family are at varying degrees of homophobia, none of them are xenophobic. Marie's mother is half Chinese, half Irish from Cuba. Trey Murphy Sr.'s mother's side of the family are mixed race African American, and Trey Murphy Sr. is married to a Japanese American. Erica was-in-law. At this time, Trey Murphy Jr. and Ashley Hashimoto joked that they are pandas, part African Asian and part European American. They share the table with Aaron Murphy Shaw and Ria Maya. It made sense. In January, both couples will go through their civil ceremony. They will have the wedding later, so they need to spend what little downtime they have together to hash out details of the nuptials. Oh, I also forgot one more thing. Let's see. So back in October, Erica made certain to get her annual flu shot. Completely forgot about that. Erica and Michael shared their Thanksgiving table with Alex and Chachi and their respective families. Also this year, Erica's father, his fiancée Meg, and her children from her prior marriage shared the table. Her father wants a wedding since her first marriage did not have a wedding, and they knew how that ended. However, Meg did not want another wedding because she knew how they all know how that marriage ended. So to be honest, Erica wanted out of this discussion because she's trying to stay out of her, trying to fix homophobic people. However, Meg had a lavish first wedding. She asked Meg to consider a smaller scale wedding. That way, her father would get the wedding he wants, but at the same time, it would be a different wedding for Meg. Much to Erica's relief, Meg acquiesced. She needed a new start, and a modified wedding will give them the best possible new chapter of their lives. Also, Meg showed Erica the prenup agreement. In addition to setting up rules based on what went wrong with his first marriage, it states that Meg would divorce her father if he breaks any of them. When Erica gave her stamp of approval, they said that they would have the civil ceremony in January. Then in June, they would have the modified wedding in San Francisco. When Erica looked at Michael, he nodded. She told her father and Meg that they would attend both ceremonies. Meg would keep her married name since that's also both of her children's last name. On the other hand, her father would change his last name to Sasaki-Remington. Granted, even if he changes his last name to Remington, people might assume he's either adopted or in a gay marriage or both. In other words, nobody cares. Side note, Jonathan Kaneshiro Mori Sr. did the same thing. His wife, Maria Mori's first husband, passed when a drunk driver plowed into his car. After they got married, she kept her married name while he changed his last name to Kaneshiro Mori. Their son's name is Jonathan Kaneshiro Mori Jr. At this time, she made a mental note to notify the clinic and studio that she'll be missing a couple of days of work to attend the father's new marriage wedding. Side note, when she did return to work at the studio, they also said that Ashley, Aaron, Rio, and Trey will also have their civil ceremony on the same date, Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019, at San Mateo County Administration Building. So the studio will be closed on that date. Erica thanked them for letting her know. That weekend, Erica and Michael renewed their fishing license, joined Alex and Chachi's harvest local sea urchins. Erica beefed up her effort to try to replicate the sea urchin risotto she ate in Los Angeles the year before. In December, on evenings and weekends, Erica and Michael thoroughly cleaned their home to get ready for the New Year's Day event at the gated community. They also moved stuff they didn't want visitors to see from the first floor to the personal rooms upstairs. During the weekends, Michael's parents stopped by to help with the decorating. Before the studio closed for the holidays, they gave everyone their paycheck and royalties. Before Erica deposited her check, she showed them to Michael. After he nodded, they went to the bank to deposit them. That year, Christmas was on a Tuesday, so the studio was closed the whole week. By this time, the new gated community was ready for Ashley, Aaron, Jonathan Jr., and their respective spouses to move in. All their appliances and furniture are already in their homes, so all they need to do is move in. As a result, the Adaptive Fitness Center Clinic decided to also close the entire week to help them move. Richard, Michael's elder siblings, Michael's parents helped where they could. Erica and Michael also popped in to help whenever they needed a break from preparing for their event. In addition, the Hashimoto family from Hawaii also flew in to help. The Murphy family and Jonathan Sr.'s family also stopped by to help with the big move. For Erica's father, he would get his diploma to say that he graduated. However, he'll have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to get the actual diploma. So his employer kept him as an intern. Once he gets his diploma, they'll give him retro pay and retroactively change his status from intern to senior park ranger. Although Erica was perplexed, she did understand the university needs to make certain that her father passed all of his classes, met all the graduation requirements before they gave him his diploma. December 31st was on the Monday. Senior staff at the Adaptive Fitness Center clinic worked a full day. Then in the evenings, Erica and Michael prepared for the New Year's Day event at the gated community. Erica made sure to marinate the Kazunoko the day before. She also made sure to not cook it. All the prep work was done. Michael helped her make dinner and spent the rest of the evening cuddling with Kamali. At this time, Erica asked Michael where does he want to go for the next vacation without missing a beat. He said Germany. It made sense. They have one of the world's biggest beer scene. After she gave him the go-ahead, she made a mental note to stop by the Murphy Travel Agency to put their itinerary together. Together, they decided to visit Japan, Hawaii in May. In October, they'll go to Germany. So she made a mental note to let the clinic and studio know that she'll be taking 2 separate vacations the following year. Next, Michael carefully said that she has earned enough money this year for both of them to retire comfortably. As a result, he needs to know what she wants to do next. She replied, if that is true, if both of them had a healthy childhood. However, since her father trauma dumped on her mom and both of their children, they cannot relax. Moreover, both of her maternal grandmothers passed away from complications related to dementia. That being said, she would like to continue paying it forward with donating money to local public schools and continuing the podcast. Other than that, she'll play it by ear. The next several years will test both of them, so she needs to lean more on her friends from now on. When she looked at Michael, he nodded. They spent the rest of the evening cuddling and preparing for the new year. So questions, comments, constructive criticisms, asking for clarifications, let me know, and I will edit this video and upload it tonight. Take care, everyone, and I look forward. I'll try to slow down because I know the next following year, 2019, that's the end of my this series, so I would like to add as much detail as I can and try to slow down. Take care.